One of the finds of the Inter-Dominion Series Trotter Series in Brisbane was the Thebestbourbon for Grant Forrest, and ran fourth in the final. Did a fantastic job to qualify for the final, but then to even finish fourth was a huge feat. And she's back at the races, but there's a little bit of a story behind that, and Grant Forrest is joining me to have a chat. Grant, great to see the Thebestbourbon back.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy that she's back too.
So tell us, a little bit's gone on behind the scenes since we last saw her.
Yeah, so she was always going to have a couple of weeks off after the Inter-Dominion because it's obviously a pretty gruelling series, and so I thought might as well try and get an embryo out of her because she's got magnificent bloodline. She's a great horse herself, and I sort of want to have a foal out of her while I can keep racing her.
And has everything gone to plan so far?
So far, so good. So, yeah, recipient mares are in foal, and hopefully they stick and we can have something down the track.
What stallion did you go to?
King of the North. I spoke to Grant Campbell a few times last year, and I just really liked his bloodlines on both sides, and he was a champion himself, and first season sire, I thought fresh chilled, you know, he ticked a lot of boxes, so I thought it was a good pair for him. And
how did the Thebestbourbon cope with everything that's gone on?
Yeah, no, they no problems. The vets were very happy with her, and she's come back into work and hasn't put a foot wrong. So.
And you're hoping that she just continues to get back to that level that she was back in December last year?
Yeah, I think so. I sort of thought that trip sort of made her. Being by a French stallion, they generally take a little bit longer, I believe. So I sort of thought she's kept improving, and I actually feel this season hopefully will be her best.
And having the couple of weeks off that she had to have off, that would have done her the world of good after what was a pretty tough campaign.
Yeah, that's right. And she had to deal with a few different things up there. So I live in Siberia, and going up to Queensland, the heat sort of affected her and being a mare, and obviously a few runs in a couple of weeks, and didn't have the ideal preparation either. And yeah, so she handled herself magnificently. And yeah, just needed a couple of weeks off after it, and we were lucky enough to get an embryo out of her and go again.
To finish fourth behind Just Believe, that was like winning the grand final, wasn't it?
Yeah, we were pretty pumped. I had mum and dad and sister and brother-in-law had a couple of stable hands. They all flew up for it. It was just a really good vibe, and all I wanted her to do in the final was to trot all the way, but to finish fourth and how she did it, hitting the line really good. Yeah, I was over the moon. I couldn't be happier, and I think it's about the first time I've ever seen Cam Hart smile after a race. So that probably showed how good she went.
And what about this campaign? What can we expect? Like, what races are you going to target?
Yeah, well, I'm looking at the MacArthur Mile, Miracle Mile night. Hopefully have a couple of runs between now and then. I'll probably look at Menangle next Saturday. So there, and then in May there's the Mares Mile race at Menangle as well. So obviously there's going to be a few runs in between, and how I've got to plan going forward. But the MacArthur Mile and the Mares Mile are the two main sort of targets, and then hopefully the Inter-Dominion Series later in the year at Menangle as well.
On a home track or in a home state, she'd be well suited there.
Yeah, she loves Menangle, and especially with her finishing burst, the long Menangle straight really suits her down to the ground, and I don't think realistically when she's trotted all the way, she hasn't been far away from them in all the races. So to have it here this year, yeah, I can't wait.
Is she the sort of mare that would cope with the Great Southern Star concept? Obviously she couldn't go there because, you know, the embryo transfer and the tough Inter-Dominion series. We've just seen the Great Southern Star run. How would she cope with two runs in a night?
Yeah, no, I actually had the Great Southern Star as a sort of a race to look at, but then because she missed going in foal the first time, it just delayed her a little bit. So I ended up missing that series. But in terms of the series itself, it would be something that I'd look at next year. I actually think she's pretty tough, and how she handled the Inter-Dominion Series and the lead up as well to it shows she can back up, and she is a bit of a tough sort of mare.
All right, mate. Well, great to see her back at the races. Great story that's taken place behind the scenes, and we wish you all the best of luck with the mare being in foal, and we'll see how everything goes.
No worries, thanks, Adam.